we have an array of animals on our planet ranging from unicellular to multicellular. In unicellular organisms, a single cell carries out all the body functions such as digestion, respiration, and reproduction. However, in multicellular organisms, different cells perform different functions. A group of similar cells that performs a specific function is called a tissue. Interestingly, all complex animals, including human beings, have only 4 basic types of tissues. These tissues are arranged in a specific proportion and pattern to form organs such as the stomach, heart, kidney, and so on. Sometimes, 2 or more organs interact physically or chemically to perform a common function. Such organs together form an organ system, such as the digestive system or the respiratory system. Based on function, animal tissues are broadly classified into 4 types, namely epithelial, connective, muscular, and neural. Epithelial tissue is commonly known as epithelium. These cells have a free surface, which either faces the body fluid or the outer environment. Thus, the epithelium serves as a lining or a protective covering for body parts. Epithelial cells are compactly arranged with little intercellular matrix. The epithelium and other tissues have specialized junctions, which provide both structural and functional links between individual cells. These junctions are of 3 types, namely tight, adhering, and gap. Tight junctions prevent leakage of substances across a tissue. Adhering junctions help cement adjoining cells together, and gap junctions contain pores which permit the exchange of ions and molecules from the cytoplasm of one cell to another. Epithelial tissues are of 2 types, simple and compound. Simple epithelium consists of a single layer of cells and serves as a lining for body cavities, ducts, and tubes. Compound epithelium consists of 2 or more layers of cells. Its chief function is protection against mechanical and chemical stress, and it plays a limited role in secretion and absorption. It is present on the outermost layer of the skin, the moist surface of the buccal cavity and pharynx, and the inner lining of the ducts of the salivary glands and pancreas. Based on shape, simple epithelium is further categorized into squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Squamous epithelium is composed of a single, thin layer of flat and irregularly shaped cells. These cells are present in the walls of blood vessels and air sacs of the lungs and are involved in the diffusion of fluids and gases. Cuboidal epithelium consists of a single layer of cube-like cells. It is found in the ducts of glands and the tubular parts of the nephrons in the kidneys. Its chief functions are absorption and secretion. Moreover, in the proximal convoluted tubule or PCT of a nephron, these cells have microvilli. Columnar epithelium consists of a single layer of tall and slender cells with their nuclei at the base. The free surface of these cells may have microvilli. They form the lining of the intestines and stomach and help in secretion and absorption. Some cuboidal and columnar cells have cilia on their free surface, and are therefore called ciliated epithelium. These cilia keep lashing and move particles or mucus in a specific direction. They are found on the inner surface of bronchioles and fallopian tubes. Some cuboidal and columnar cells are also specialized for secretion and are therefore called glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium is of two types: unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular glandular epithelium consists of isolated cells found in goblet cells of the alimentary canal. Multicellular glandular epithelium consists of a cluster of cells found in the salivary glands. The epithelial tissues also form many glands. These glands are of two types: exocrine and endocrine. The exocrine glands secrete their products through ducts or tubes, while the endocrine glands are ductless and secrete their products or hormones directly into the bloodstream. Thus, the epithelium is a diverse group of tissues which helps in diffusion, absorption, secretion, and protection. Connective tissues are the most abundant and widely distributed tissues in animals. As the name suggests, these tissues help to link and provide support to other tissues and organs throughout the body. These tissues range from soft to specialized tissues such as cartilage, bone, adipose, and blood. Except for blood, the cells of connective tissue secrete collagen fibers, which are made of protein. These fibers provide strength, elasticity, and flexibility to the tissue. The cells of connective tissue also secrete modified polysaccharides, which accumulate between the cells and fibers and serve as a matrix or ground substance. Connective tissues are categorized into three types: loose connective, dense connective, and specialized connective. In loose connective tissues, the cells and fibers are loosely arranged in a semi-fluid matrix. Loose connective tissue includes areolar and adipose tissue. Areolar tissue is found under the skin and consists of fibroblasts, macrophages, and mast cells. It helps keep the epithelial tissue in place. Similarly, adipose tissue is situated under the skin and is specialized to store fats. In dense connective tissue, the fibers and fibroblasts are compactly arranged. This tissue is further divided into dense regular and dense irregular tissues depending on the orientation of the fibers. In dense regular connective tissue, collagen fibers are present in rows between parallel bundles of fibers, as in tendons and ligaments. In dense irregular connective tissue, the fibroblasts and fibers orient differently, as in skin. The third category, specialized connective tissue, consists of cartilage, bone, and blood. Cartilage is a solid and pliable tissue and resists compression. Cartilage cells, or chondrocytes, are enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. In vertebrates, embryos mainly have cartilage, which is later replaced by bones. However, in adults, cartilage is found in the tip of the nose, some parts of the rib cage, and between vertebrae, hands and legs. Bones have a hard and non-pliable matrix which is rich in calcium salts and collagen fibers. This provides strength to the bones. Bone cells or osteocytes are present in spaces called lacunae. Bones make up the skeletal system of a body and support and protect the softer tissues and organs. The skeletal muscles attached to the bones help in movement. Moreover, long bones have bone marrow that produces blood cells. The long bones of the legs help bear body weight. The last type of specialized connective tissue is blood, which is a fluid tissue that contains plasma, red blood cells or RBC, white blood cells or WBC, and platelets. Blood serves as the main circulating fluid that transports various substances such as gases, nutrients and hormones to different parts of the body. Thus, connective tissue helps store fats, link and provide support to other tissues and organs, and transport various substances such as gases, nutrients and hormones to different parts of the body. There are thousands of animals on our planet. These animals exhibit some morphological similarities and differences. Morphology refers to the study of external features or characters of organs or body parts. Let's take a look at the morphological features of an earthworm. While gardening, it is common to find small reddish-brown worms crawling on the soil or decaying leaves. These creatures are earthworms and they live in the upper moist layers of soil. They are commonly seen at night when they crawl to the earth's surface to feed. However, during the day, they are found in their burrows and can be easily traced by following their fecal deposits known as worm castings. Earthworms have a long cylindrical body that is divided into similar segments. Some species have a body made up of over 100 to 120 segments. Did you know that some giant species of earthworms have an average length of 80 centimeters and a diameter of 2 centimeters? In India, there are two common species of earthworms, Ferrotima and Lumbricus, which measure 10 to 15 centimeters in length. The body of an earthworm can be dorso-ventrally differentiated. The dorsal surface has a dorsal blood vessel that runs longitudinally along the body, while the ventral surface has genital openings or pores. Similarly, the body of an earthworm can also be differentiated anteriorly and posteriorly. Although the anterior and posterior ends of the earthworm look similar, the anterior end is distinguished by a wedge-shaped structure called the prostomium. The prostomium is a sensory organ and also helps to open cracks in the soil and facilitate the movement of the earthworm. The anterior end also bears the mouth, which is attached to the first body segment called the peristomium or the buccal segment. Moreover, the mouth is covered by the prostomium. The body of a mature earthworm has a thick, dark band called the clitellum. This band is formed around the 14th to the 16th segments due to the secretion of glandular tissue and divides the body into three parts: the preclitella, clitella, and post-clitellar segments. The 5th to the 9th segments of the body have 4 pairs of spermatical apertures in the ventrolateral sides of the intersegmental grooves. The 14th segment has a single female genital pore, while the 18th segment bears a pair of male genital pores. Moreover, each segment of an earthworm has minute pores called nephridiopores. These pores are connected to nephridia, which serve as excretory organs. The earthworm's body is rough to the touch due to the presence of tiny S-shaped bristles called setae, which are embedded in the epidermal pits. Each segment of the body, except the first, last and the clitellum, has setae which help in locomotion. Did you know that earthworms are known as friends of farmers? This is because their burrowing activities make the soil porous and aerated, which facilitates the development of roots in plants. Besides, they also play an important role in decomposing organic matter to humus, improving soil fertility. In recent years, earthworms have been extensively used for vermicomposting. We've just studied the morphological features of an earthworm, such as its color, body structure, texture, and external organs. Our planet is home to thousands of animals that exhibit morphological similarities and differences. Similarly, they also exhibit certain anatomical similarities and differences. Anatomy refers to the study of the internal structures or organs of an organism. Let's take a look at the anatomical features of an earthworm, such as the body wall, the alimentary canal, and the circulatory, excretory, nervous, and reproductive systems. The cross-section of an earthworm shows that the body wall is covered by a thin layer of cuticle followed by a single layer of epidermis, which contains secretory gland cells. Below the epidermis lie 2 layers of muscles, circular and longitudinal muscles, followed by the innermost coelomic epithelium. Now let's take a look at the longitudinal section of the worm to study its remaining anatomical features. You'll notice a straight tube that runs from the first to the last segment of the body. This tube is the alimentary canal. Towards the anterior end, the first segment bears the mouth, which opens into the buccal cavity up to the 3rd segment. The buccal cavity is followed by a muscular pharynx, which continues into a narrow esophagus between the 5th and 7th segments. The gizzard, located in the 8th and 9th segments, helps grind soil particles and organic matter. This organic matter is mixed with soil and is digested in the stomach that lies between the 9th and 14th segments. The stomach also has calciferous glands, which neutralize the humic acid present in the partially decomposed organic matter. The stomach continues into a long intestine, which starts from the 15th segment and continues till the last segment. A pair of short, conical projections of intestinal ceca is present on the 26th segment. The intestine shows internal folds called typhlosoles between the 26th and the 35th segments, which also increases the surface area for better absorption of digested nutrients. Finally, in the last segment, the alimentary canal opens to the exterior through a small aperture called the anus. As the ingested matter passes through the alimentary canal, it is broken down into simpler absorbable molecules by digestive enzymes. These molecules are then absorbed through intestinal membranes and are utilized by the earthworm. The anatomical study also includes the closed circulatory system. This system consists of blood vessels, capillaries, and hearts. Small blood vessels supply blood to the gut, nerve cord, and body wall. Earthworms also have blood glands between the 4th and 6th segments that produce blood cells and hemoglobin, which are dissolved in the blood plasma. These blood cells are phagocytic in nature. Moreover, the hearts, which are important organs in the circulatory system, help circulate blood in one direction. The nephridial or excretory system is also part of the anatomy of an earthworm. Earthworms have several nephridia that function as excretory organs. There are 3 types of nephridia, namely septal, integumentary, and pharyngeal. The septal nephridia are present on either side of the intersegmental septa between the 15th segment and the last segment, and open into the intestine. The integumentary nephridia are attached to the lining of the body wall from the 3rd segment to the last segment and open onto the body surface. The pharyngeal nephridia occur as paired tufts on either side of the pharynx and esophagus from the 4th to the 6th segments. All 3 types of nephridia have similar structures and regulate the volume and composition of body fluids. Each nephridium has a funnel that collects excess coelomic fluid. This funnel links to a tubular part of the nephridium from where waste is discharged through nephridiopores. The anatomical study also includes the nervous system, which consists of ganglia that are connected to a double ventral nerve cord. At the anterior end, in the 3rd and 4th segments, the nerve cord bifurcates, encircles the pharynx, and joins the cerebral ganglia to form a nerve ring. The cerebral ganglia, along with the other nerves in the ring, integrate sensory input as well as control the muscular responses of the body. Did you know that earthworms don't possess eyes? However, they have light and touch-sensitive receptors to help them recognize light intensities and ground vibrations. Besides, they also have specialized chemoreceptors or taste receptors, which help them respond to any chemical stimuli and are situated at the anterior end. Finally, let's take a look at the reproductive system. The earthworm is a hermaphrodite, which means that both male and female reproductive systems are present in the same individual. The male reproductive system consists of 2 pairs of testes in the 10th and 11th segments, with their vasa deferentia running up to the 18th segment. Here, the vasa deferentia and the duct of the prostate gland join to form a common prostate and spermatic duct, which opens to the exterior through a pair of male genital pores. In the 17th and 19th segments, a pair of accessory glands is found in each segment. Also, each segment from the 6th to the 9th bears a pair of spermatheca, which receives and stores spermatozoa during copulation. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries present on the intersegmental septum of the 12th and 13th segments. Below the ovaries are the ovarian funnels, which continue into the oviduct and join to form a single female genital pore on the 14th segment. Although earthworms are hermaphrodites, each worm mates with another worm. While mating, two worms lie in a juxtaposed position, resulting in a mutual exchange of sperm between the two worms. Later, cocoons containing mature sperm, eggs, and a nutritive fluid are secreted by the gland cells of the clitellum. The eggs are fertilized by the sperm in the cocoons and are deposited in the soil. Inside the cocoons, embryos develop, and after 3 weeks, each cocoon produces about 2 to 20 baby worms. These baby worms show direct development, which means the larval stage is absent. We've just studied the anatomical features of the earthworm, such as the body wall structure, alimentary canal, and circulatory, nervous, and reproductive systems. One of the most common insects found at home and in godowns is the cockroach. In fact, these insects are found throughout the world, especially in damp places, and are commonly seen at night. They feed on both animal and plant matter and also transmit several diseases. Therefore, it is necessary to use pest control to check their spread. Cockroaches are usually brown or black. However, in the tropics, you may also find bright yellow, red, and green cockroaches. There are about 4,000 species of cockroaches, and their lengths range between 0.6 and 7.6 centimeters. A common species, Periplaneta americana, measures 3.4 to 5.3 centimeters in length. The adult male of this species has wings extending beyond its abdomen. The body of a cockroach is dorso-ventrally flattened and is covered in a hard, brown, chitinous exoskeleton. The entire body is segmented and divisible into the head, thorax, and abdomen. In each segment, the exoskeleton has hardened plates called sclerites, which are joined to each other by a thin, flexible, articular membrane called the arthrodial membrane. The sclerites on the dorsal side are called tergites, and on the ventral side they are called sternites. The head of a cockroach is triangular and is attached to the thorax by a short, flexible neck. It is held at right angles to the long axis of the body. In fact, the head is formed by the fusion of 6 segments and is covered by a number of plates which constitute the head capsule. This capsule bears a pair of large, compound eyes. It also bears a pair of long, slender antennae that arise from 2 membranous sockets. These antennae have sensory receptors which help monitor the surroundings. The anterior end of the head bears mouth parts, which are of biting and chewing type. The mouth parts consist of an upper lip or labrum, a pair of mandibles and maxillae, and a lower lip or labium. Additionally, cockroaches also have a hypopharynx, which acts as a tongue and lies in front of the labium. Following the head is the thorax, which consists of 3 segments: prothorax, mesothorax, and metathorax. Each thoracic segment bears a pair of long, jointed legs. Moreover, the mesothorax and metathorax bear a pair of wings. The mesothoracic wings or the forewings are called tegmina. These wings are dark, opaque and leathery, and cover the hind wings at rest, while the hind wings are thin, transparent and membranous, and are used in flight. Following the thorax is the abdomen, which consists of 10 segments. Although the male and female cockroaches have an equal number of abdominal segments, the female's abdomen is broader than that of the male. In females, the 7th sternum is boat-shaped, and together with the 8th and 9th sterna, forms a genital pouch, which contains the female gonopore, spermatical pores, and collateral glands. In males, the genital pouch lies towards the end of the abdomen and contains the dorsal anus, the ventral male genital pore, and the gonopophysis. The genital pouch is surrounded dorsally by the 9th and 10th terga and ventrally by the 9th sternum. The 10th segment of both male and female cockroaches bears a pair of jointed filamentous anal cerci that function as sense organs. Additionally, male cockroaches bear a pair of short anal styles which are absent in females. These features help distinguish between a male and a female cockroach. Thus, the morphological study of a cockroach includes features such as its color, shape, size, and external organs. Although a cockroach may look like a simple small insect, anatomically it is quite complex. Let's take a look at the anatomical features of a cockroach, such as the alimentary canal and the blood vascular, respiratory, excretory, nervous, and reproductive systems. The alimentary canal is present in the body cavity and is divided into foregut, midgut, and hindgut. The entire foregut is lined with cuticle and consists of a mouth which leads into a short tubular pharynx that continues into a narrow tubular esophagus. The esophagus opens into a large sac-like structure called a crop, which stores food. The crop is followed by a small conical gizzard or proventriculus, which grinds the food particles. The transverse section of the gizzard shows an outer thick layer of circular muscles and an inner thick layer of cuticle, which forms 6 chitinous teeth. At the junction of the foregut and midgut is a ring of 6 to 8 tubules called hepatic or gastric ceca, which secrete digestive juice. Similarly, at the junction of the midgut and hindgut is a ring of numerous filamentous, yellow-colored Malpighian tubules, which function as excretory organs. The midgut is followed by the hindgut, which is broader and is divided into ileum, colon, and rectum. The rectum opens to the exterior through a small aperture called the anus. The anatomical study also includes the blood vascular system. Cockroaches have an open blood vascular system with poorly developed blood vessels that open into a hemocoel or open body space. The visceral organs situated in this hemocoel are immersed in blood or hemolymph, which consists of colorless plasma and hemocytes. In a longitudinal section of the insect, you will see a long muscular tube lying along the mid-dorsal axis of the body. This muscular tube is the heart, which is differentiated into funnel-shaped chambers with ostia on either side. These insects also possess sinuses or cavities in their body. The hemolymph from these sinuses enters the heart through ostia and is pumped back into the sinuses anteriorly. The respiratory system also forms a part of the anatomical study of a cockroach. This system consists of a network of trachea that opens to the exterior through 10 pairs of spiracles, which are located on the lateral side of the body. The opening of these spiracles is regulated by sphincters. The tracheas are further divided into thin tracheoles, which supply oxygen to all the parts of the body. Gaseous exchange in these tracheoles takes place through diffusion. The anatomical study also includes the excretory system. In cockroaches, Malpighian tubules situated at the junction of the midgut and hindgut serve as excretory organs. Each tubule is lined with ciliated and glandular cells which absorb nitrogenous wastes from the body and convert them into uric acid. This uric acid is then excreted through the hindgut. As cockroaches excrete uric acid, they are known as uricotelic animals. Apart from Malpighian tubules, the fat body, nephrocytes, and uricose glands also help in excretion. The nervous system is also a part of the anatomical study. In the cockroach, this system consists of a series of ganglia in each segment, which is attached to a ventral nerve cord and a brain. There are 3 thoracic ganglia and 6 abdominal ganglia. In the head, the supraesophageal ganglion represents the brain, which supplies nerves to the antennae and the compound eyes. Did you know that if you cut off the head of a cockroach, it can survive for almost a week? Well, this is because the head holds a small part of the nervous system, while a large part of the system is present in the thorax and abdomen. Besides a well-developed nervous system, cockroaches also have many sensory organs such as antennae, eyes, maxillary and labial palps, and anal cerci. The head bears a pair of large compound eyes, and each eye consists of about 2,000 hexagonal ommatidia. These ommatidia form a mosaic vision of an object with low resolution. This vision is also known as nocturnal vision. Finally, let's learn about the reproductive system. Cockroaches are unisexual with well-developed male and female reproductive systems. The male reproductive system consists of 2 testes, which lie on the lateral sides of the 4th to 6th abdominal segments. From each testis arises a thin vas deferens. The 2 vasa deferentia run posteriorly and open into the ejaculatory duct through a seminal vesicle. The ejaculatory duct opens into the male gonopore situated below the anus. At the anterior end of the ejaculatory duct, in the 6th and 7th abdominal segments, is a mushroom-shaped accessory reproductive gland consisting of small and long tubules. The secretion from this gland nourishes sperm and helps in spermatophore formation. In cockroaches, the male gonapophysis or phallomere represents the external genitalia. These phallomeres are asymmetrical structures made up of chitin and surround the male gonopore. Sperm is stored in seminal vesicles and form spermatophores, which are discharged during copulation. The female reproductive system consists of 2 large ovaries, which lie on the lateral sides of the 2nd to 6th abdominal segments. Each ovary consists of 8 ovarian tubules or ovarioles containing beaded strings of developing ova. From each ovary arises an oviduct, which joins to form a single common oviduct or vagina. The vagina opens into the genital chamber. In the 6th segment, a pair of spermatheca is present, which also opens into the genital chamber. During copulation, sperm is transferred through spermatophores. After copulation, the female cockroach secretes a purse-shaped capsule called an ootheca, which contains the fertilized eggs. The ootheca is a dark reddish to blackish brown colored capsule, which is about 8 millimeters long. The female lays about 9 to 10 ootheca in cracks or crevices with high humidity and near a food source. Each ootheca contains about 14 to 16 eggs. Interestingly, in Periplaneta americana, the development of the insect is porometabolous, which means that development takes place through the nymphal stage. A nymph looks quite similar to an adult, and it molts around 13 times before it turns into an adult. Though the second last nymphal stage has wing pads, only adult cockroaches have wings. We've just studied the anatomical features of a cockroach, such as the alimentary canal and the blood vascular, excretory, nervous, and reproductive systems. With the onset of the monsoon, it is common to hear croaking sounds. These sounds are made by male frogs to attract females as it's their breeding season. Frogs are tailless animals that live both on land and in fresh water. There are about 4,000 species of frogs worldwide, but they are usually found in tropical and subtropical regions. India too is home to many species, the most common being Rana tigrina. Did you know these amphibians can change their body temperature according to the temperature of the environment? This is because frogs are cold-blooded animals or poikilotherms. In fact, when the temperature is extremely hot or cold, they take shelter in deep burrows. Frogs undergo hibernation in winter and estivation in summer, and are therefore not visible during these seasons. Frogs are also known to camouflage themselves according to their surroundings to hide from predators. The dorsal side of their body is olive green with dark irregular spots, while the ventral side is pale yellow. This coloration of the skin makes the frog inconspicuous to predators and is also known as mimicry. The frog's skin is smooth and slippery due to the presence of mucus, which makes it difficult for the prey to grasp it. Additionally, the skin is moist and helps in the diffusion of respiratory gases. Did you know that a frog doesn't drink water but absorbs it through its skin? The body of a frog is divided into two regions, head and trunk. There is no neck and tail. The head bears a wide semicircular mouth, above which is a pair of small nostrils. A little behind the nostrils is a pair of large, bulging eyes covered by a transparent, nictitating membrane which protects the eyes while in water. Behind the eyes is a pair of membranous tympanum, which receives sound signals. The head is attached to the trunk, which is a broad structure that usually shows a hump in the sitting posture. It bears two pairs of limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs, that help to swim, walk, leap and burrow. The hind limbs have 5 digits and are larger and muscular than the forelimbs, which have 4 digits. Moreover, the long digits of the hind limbs are connected by a web that helps to swim. In frogs, the sexes are separate, and certain features help to easily distinguish between a male and a female frog. Male frogs possess two vocal sacs on the lower side of their throat, which are used for croaking. They also have a copulatory pad on the first digit of their forelimbs. Both these organs are absent in female frogs. Although frogs are undesirable in residential areas, they are beneficial to farmers as they eat insects and protect crops. They serve as an important link in the food chain and food web in the ecosystem and thus maintain an ecological balance. However, in recent years, the population of frogs has been declining due to various human activities. Frogs have well-developed organ systems. Their digestive, respiratory, vascular, excretory, nervous, and reproductive systems are held in a body cavity. Let's take a look at each system in detail. The digestive system consists of an alimentary canal and digestive glands. Frogs, being carnivores, the length of the intestine is reduced. This makes the alimentary canal short. The alimentary canal begins with a wide, semicircular mouth that opens into a buccal cavity, which leads into a pharynx. The pharynx continues into a short, tubular esophagus. The esophagus is followed by the stomach, which continues as the intestine, rectum, and finally opens into the cloaca. Frogs possess two main digestive glands, the liver and pancreas. The liver secretes bile, which is stored in the gallbladder, while the pancreas produces pancreatic juice containing digestive enzymes. A frog uses its sticky, bilobed tongue to catch prey or food. As the food passes through the stomach, it is partially digested by hydrogen chloride or HCl and gastric juices secreted by the walls of the stomach. This partially digested food, called chyme, then passes into the duodenum, which receives pancreatic juices and bile through a common bile duct. The pancreatic juices digest carbohydrates and proteins, while the bile emulsifies fat present in the food. The digestion of food is completed in the intestine, where it is absorbed by numerous finger-like projections called villi and microvilli. The undigested solid waste passes through the rectum and is finally egested through the cloaca. The anatomical study also includes the respiratory system. Interestingly, frogs respire in water and on land in two different ways. In water, the frog's skin functions as the respiratory organ, and the gaseous exchange takes place through diffusion. This is called cutaneous respiration. On land, a frog respires through the buccal cavity, skin, and lungs. During respiration, air is drawn into the buccal cavity through the nostrils and is forced into the lungs. This type of respiration through the lungs is called pulmonary respiration. Did you know that during estivation and hibernation, frogs respire only through their skin? The vascular system also forms a part of the anatomical study and consists of a well-developed blood vascular system and a lymphatic system. The blood vascular system consists of the heart, blood vessels, and blood, while the lymphatic system consists of lymph, lymph channels, and lymph nodes. The heart is situated in the upper part of the body cavity and consists of 3 chambers, 2 atria and 1 ventricle, and is covered by the pericardium. The right atrium is connected to the sinus venosus, which receives blood through the major veins called vena cava. The oxygenated blood is then pumped into the ventricle, which opens into a sac-like structure called the conus arteriosus, after which it is distributed to different parts of the body by arteries of the arterial system. Deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body is collected by veins or the venous system and is pumped into the heart. Frogs also have a hepatic portal system and renal portal system. In the hepatic portal system, veins are connected to the liver and the intestine, while in the renal portal system, veins are connected to the kidney and lower parts of the body. The blood consists of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, while the lymph lacks red blood cells and a few proteins. As the heart beats, blood circulates various substances such as gases, nutrients, and hormones to different parts of the body. The anatomical study also includes the excretory system. This system consists of a pair of kidneys, ureters, the urinary bladder, and cloaca. The kidneys are dark red, bean-shaped structures situated on either side of the vertebral column. Each kidney consists of several nephrons and gives rise to a ureter. In male frogs, the 2 ureters function as a urinogenital duct and open into the cloaca. However, in female frogs, the ureters and the oviduct open separately into the cloaca. Towards the ventral side of the rectum is a thin-walled urinary bladder which also opens into the cloaca. The nephrons in the kidneys absorb the excretory wastes from the blood and convert them into urea. As frogs excrete urea, they are called ureotelic animals. The endocrine glands and the nervous system are also a part of the anatomical study. In frogs, the chemical coordination of different organs is brought about by hormones that are secreted by the endocrine glands. These include pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, pineal body, pancreatic islets, adrenals, and gonads. The nervous system in frogs includes the central, peripheral, and autonomic nervous systems. The central nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system consists of cranial and spinal nerves. And the autonomic nervous system consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. The brain is enclosed in a cranium and is divided into the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. The forebrain consists of olfactory lobes, paired cerebral hemispheres, and an unpaired diencephalon. The midbrain bears a pair of optic lobes, and the hindbrain consists of the cerebellum and medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata passes out through the foramen magnum and continues into the spinal cord, which is enclosed in the vertebral column. The brain gives rise to 10 pairs of cranial nerves, which provide external information to the brain. Besides a well-developed nervous system, frogs also possess different sense organs such as sensory papillae, taste buds, nasal epithelium, eyes, and a tympanum with internal ears. However, only the eyes and internal ears are well-organized structures, while others are cellular aggregations around nerve endings. The eyes are simple and are situated in the orbit of the skull, and behind each eye is a tympanum that serves as a hearing and a balancing organ. Finally, let's learn about the reproductive system. Frogs are unisexual animals with well-developed male and female reproductive systems. The male reproductive system consists of 2 yellowish ovoid testes, which are attached to the upper part of the kidneys by the mesochium. From each testis arise 5 to 6 vasa deferentia that enter the kidneys and open into the Bidder's canal. The vasa deferentia finally join the urogenital duct and open into the cloaca. The cloaca is a small median chamber that serves as a single opening that passes out fecal matter, urine, and sperm. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries. However, unlike the testes, the ovaries are not connected to the kidneys. From each ovary arises an oviduct, which separately opens into the cloaca. Interestingly, a mature female frog can lay about 2,500 to 3,000 ova at a time. After copulation, the eggs are fertilized externally in the presence of water. These eggs develop into tadpoles, which undergo metamorphosis to form adult frogs. As the life cycle of frogs has a larval or tadpole stage, development is indirect. We've just studied the anatomical features of the frog, such as the digestive, vascular, respiratory, excretory, nervous, and reproductive systems.